Everyone, welcome to session 12 of the Forgotten Fortress. We're 12 sessions old now. Yeah, we've got we got a full party now.
Yeah.
Everybody's back in action. So catch me up. What happened last time?
Almost fought a dragon potentially.
We followed Garrett around a cave while he killed everything.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, that's true. What are your thoughts on Garrett?
Fucking, he's as OP as he should be, man.
I mean, I wish I was that strong.
Yeah, you'll never be that strong.
That's true.
I mean, he missed a couple attacks though. There were a couple of swings he had that he missed. He made it up.
Out of how many he hit?
Missed like 2.
Yeah, he missed like 2. Garrett's a legit full-on fighter, though. You got to think, Garrett's not only been training to fight since he was basically young, but he's like basically in terms of tiers or ranks in the Silver Shepherds, he's right below the supreme leader of the Silver Shepherds. So he's received some special fucking training in combat and other areas as well. So he's like a legit fucking fighter. You don't want to mess with him. Don't want to be on his bad side. But so yeah, you guys got the Silver Shepherd settlement called Camp Nile. Spent some time there. Angrath busted a wall out of frustration trying to open his lockbox, which he potentially still has to pay Peter for. But basically, you talked to Garrett that night. Rogar and Garrett said, "Hey, I'm doing a quest for Alanon, who's like the supreme leader of the Silver Shepherds, the superior, yes." And he was like, "Hey, yeah, super important. This is why I'm here. Can you come help me out real quick?" You guys agreed to help him out, and he led you on a little expedition into the mountains where you had sort of just come from already. By some luck and good investigation skills, you were able to find the opening to the mountain that you were looking for, which was called the Cutstone Mountains. You were looking for the Tomb of the Fallen in order to find the Gem of Tempest. Garrett led you in. You guys got in some fights, almost fought a dragon, but the dragon was a good dragon and determined that if he gave you his one prized artifact out of many things he's collected over the last couple hundred years, you would only use it for good. He kind of determined that you were sloppily able to persuade him of that, so he gave it up to you. It's now, who still has that? Did Garrett grab that off the altar? Okay. So Garrett has what he came for. He said, "Hey, just step on this little teleporter. It'll take you back out." You guys stepped on, and here you are. Well, I really appreciate you guys' help. This was quite an undertaking. Why don't we head back, get some rest for the night?
Let's.
They.
Yep, let's go.
Okay, so you guys make your way back to Camp Nile. It's about, we'll call it a couple hours travel to get out of the Tomb of the Fallen. Start scaling back down the mountains. Mountain's much easier to scale down than it was climbing up into it, particularly while you were trying to heavily look for a very difficult to find flow of red running rocks. You easily are able to spot Camp Nile from the mountains and can just kind of walk back through. Where do you guys walk to? Do you walk just kind of right into the, I guess right back into the inn? The Silver Shield Inn? Or do you go to the Drinkery, or where do you go?
I'd probably go to the drinkery and get something to eat and drink.
I'm gonna follow Morgan.
Yeah, I'd probably step into the drinkery for a bite.
I'm gonna head back to the inn. I have something to take care of.
Okay. And yeah, Garrett's just gonna follow you, Rogar. Angrath, roll me a D2. See who we follow.
Okay, so how do I do that again? I gotta go.
Slash
Forward
R
slash R
Slash
space
R.
1d2.
Where the heck is that? So D what forward slash D2?
Forward slash
R
R
space
space 1D2. All right, we're gonna follow the party first. You guys walk into the drinkery. Again, you find a modest tavern. It's rough but rustic. There's a bar and a few tables fastened down into what is now rusted steel nails and mending plates top the creaks and groans of the wood floor below as you walk in. No bard playing this time. It's a little bit later than it was last time when you've arrived, just the day before. Again, you see the same heavier set, middle-aged man with thin brown hair named Frank. He says, "Hey, welcome back in. Yeah, we still got that same deal going on. You want some rabbit and biscuits and meat for 5 copper?"
Hey, that'll work.
All right, well, it's great
good.
to see you. We'll get that out here for you. And Garrett just goes and finds a large open table where each of you can sit.
Yeah. Alright. Go sit.
Again, I'm just gonna follow the party.
Okay. And as Frank is rounding up some food and drink for you, we will switch over to the Silver Shield Inn and join Angrath. Angrath, you walk into the Silver Shield Inn and find the familiar sight of the small entrance, the counter in the front, stairs along the side, and a humanoid with a dark hood pulled over. He looks up and says, "Oh, it's you. Well, night has fallen and you've not fixed my wall. I expect you have my coin."
No, I do not. I will fix it by morning. It will be fixed this evening. I'll go finish it right now.
Fixed by morning and not good enough. I gave you a day, you've had a day. I don't care how you spent your day, but my wall is not fixed.
I don't have your money, so I don't know what to tell you. Other than
Well,
I
then
will
I
fix
am going to call the authorities. I've seen you've fixed part of the wall. Can you continue to fix the wall?
Yes, I will. I will finish it. I'll go up and finish it right now. Give me about 10 minutes and it'll be done.
Roll me a persuasion check. With advantage, because you have already fixed part of the wall. Yes, fine, go. 30 minutes, you come back down, that wall is fixed, or I go and I tell General Maxim myself.
All right, thank you, sir. And I head up to the room.
Okay. Yeah, when you walk into the room, do you check for your lockbox?
Yeah.
Pretty sure you set it under the
sure.
bed, right?
Yeah, I'll see if it's under the bed still.
Yeah, you take a look, it's still there.
Okay.
What do you decide to do?
I'm gonna fix that wall. So you got like another 5 minutes left to mending.
Yeah, and mending's a cantrip for you, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So I'd say about 5 minutes goes by. You just kind of sit there and do some demonic, make some demonic noises, move your hands around as you touch the wall. And about 5 minutes goes by. You can see each individual splinter start to mend itself, and the wall is now in perfectly restored condition.
All right. So I'm gonna head back down and talk to whatever his name was.
Peter.
Peter, yes. I go back down and say, Peter, your wall is out there.
Wall
You
is
want to come
fixed?
look at it? Yes, you want to come and look at it?
Yes, come show me your work. I assume you walk him back up.
Yeah, walking back up.
Yeah, so Peter walks in, kind of gives a quick look around, looks at the wall.
Well, your work is impressive. Tell me, I did not see any lumber or tools or nails come up into my inn. I did not hear any loud clatters beyond the, however you broke the wall, bashing your backpack into it, I believe you said. Tell me how you fixed it.
I have my ways.
Yes, well, it appears it's fixed. You staying again for the evening?
If you will have me.
Well, I will have your coin, but given the circumstances, I believe the price has raised a little bit. For,
That's fair enough.
incidentals.
Fair enough. How much will it be this evening?
You guys remember what he charged last time?
No.
Didn't charge me anything.
Right, you're with Silver Shepherds. It was 6 silver pieces each.
1 gold each should suffice.
Okay. Fair enough.
You just give him a gold, or do you pay for the whole party?
I'll pay for the whole party, so how much is that?
Well, that would be 4 gold pieces.
Yeah.
He wouldn't know that it doesn't cost me anything.
Nope, he's got no
Oh.
idea.
Yeah.
Neither
Alright,
did
I'll
Borgen.
just give- Yeah, I'll give him the 4 gold pieces.
Okay.
Yes, thank you very much. Well, enjoy your stay, and please, whatever you do, don't break my fucking wall.
Don't worry, it will not happen again.
Shit. One sec. All right, and he turns around and walks away. We'll rejoin you guys at the Bleeding Axe Drinkery. Frank comes and sets down some rabbit, some biscuits, and a tankard of mead in front of each of you.
Well, Rogar, where you going on from here?
Wellspring Falls is our destination.
I haven't been there myself, but heard it's a pretty nice place.
That's what they say.
Well, just keep yourself safe, and hopefully I'll see you back around sometime soon in our neck of the woods. Yeah.
For sure.
And he takes a big slam of his ale and says, "Well,"
Suppose I better get on out of here.
and he starts to walk out. Do you follow him out, or do you stay?
No, I'm gonna let him go.
Okay.
He's got a ride. He's got a long journey.
Yeah, you he just walks out, closes the door. So what do the rest of you do?
I just continue in silence, eating my food.
I'm just gonna eat quietly.
Sorry, I know it's a nervous tank.
Okay. Yeah, some time passes. You guys enjoy your food, drink your ale. You see Frank walk up. Hey, seems like it's a quiet night here. Can I get you fellas anything else?
Hey, no, I'm fine, thank you though, Frank.
What's your best ale?
The best ale, as in what tastes the best or what costs the most?
Both.
Yeah, and he kind of gives you a look up and down. Well, I'd say here that's probably our, probably a Silver Forge beer. It's the,
How much?
It's a real nice beer. It's rare. It's dwarven beer, made painstakingly from roasted grain. It's got a nice, rich chocolatey taste, actually. I've heard it's legendarily good. About 5 gold pieces a bottle.
Give me a bottle.
And he promptly runs back behind the bar. You can see him like lift up this chest and grabs the bottle out, brings it over to you. Hey, you want a mug to go with that?
No.
All right. And he comes over,
Here's your 5 gold.
pops it over. He takes the 5 gold. Yeah, right. Well, here you go. Drink up.
Cheers.
And does Grognak start drinking it?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, just from first drink, like first sip, smells real like deep, like licorice. Has a really strong aroma of it, and then as you drink it, it tastes just like chocolate milk, basically going down. You can definitely tell it's got a kick of alcohol to it, but it's just such a smooth beer that it like doesn't seem to buggy at all. Just goes down like nothing. Tastes really good.
That tastes funny. I'm gonna keep drinking it.
And what is Rogar and Borgin doing?
I'm just enjoying the rabbit and biscuits.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just gonna finish eating and then leave the coin on the table what he owes and head out.
Yeah, I do the same.
Okay. Yeah, Grognak, you sit there nursing your beer for a little longer. As we follow Rogar and Borgin over to the Silver Shield Inn, you walk in, you see Peter standing in the front, and he looks and says,
So your friend, the large man, caused a problem this morning. Problem is fixed. Good to know. Has already paid for your rooms for the evening.
I'm just gonna nod and keep walking.
okay.
Yeah, I'll just nod as well and just walk to my room.
Okay. And then, yeah, I believe you each have your own keys.
Yeah. Which,
Um,
if we hadn't paid for the rooms and just left, we kept the keys. So that was a bad plan on his part.
that's true. We didn't ask for him back in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, he was more concerned, I think, with his wall. The wall would have cost much more to fix than just replacing a couple sets of door handles and locks.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys go in. Return back to Grognak. Grognak, you still nursing your drink there?
No, I'm gonna fucking down it.
Okay. Are you down the drink? Don't feel drunk at all. Just a really good beer.
I guess I'll just finish up eating and then head back to the inn.
Okay. Yeah, and you walk back up to the inn. You would have seen Peter before your character saw him while you were away. So you would have recognized. He again tells you that your room is paid for already. And you're welcome just to go up and get a good night's rest.
Alright, then I'll go up to my room and yeah. Sit down somewhere or some shit, I don't know.
Yeah. All right. You go up to your rooms for the evening, and night passes uneventfully. It was pretty dark by the time you guys were walking over, but it was like right across the street. It was a couple steps basically away from the Bleeding Axe Drinkery, so it's not like you had much of a travel to really see the night for all it was worth. And as you go to sleep, each of you roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh god.
Yes. Proficiency. Finally. Probably doesn't matter. Mike.
That 2-piece though.
That 0 though.
Shut the fuck up. We all know I have a -1 on with.
Okay. Yeah, Borgin, Angrath, you guys sleep quite peacefully throughout the night. Rogar and Grognak, you have a little trouble falling asleep at first, but you do fall asleep. And as you sleep, you toss and turn all evening. And at some point throughout the evening... One second here. Here we go. So, throughout the evening, you each have a vision. Rogar, you're standing in the citadel of the Silver Shepherds, Silver Shepherd's primary hold. You're in a room that's unfamiliar to you. And you're surrounded by dark cloaked figures. Roll me a perception check. Okay. You don't recognize most of the people, but you do recognize one in particular as Alanon. Alanon is dressed in very fine robes, as he usually is, walks around with a staff. And you hear him say,
Good. Good, yes, well, the plans are in place, and things are moving accordingly. Just need but a few things left.
and you see most of these dark figures start to walk out, but you see one stay. Roll me another perception check. Okay, you don't hear every word he says, but you are able to make out.
Well, it seems plans are going accordingly, and the right steps are in motion, as I have told the others, but it is time for you to prove yourself to me.
You hear another voice say,
Have I not proved myself yet enough? Good leader. You have proven yourself most useful, but there is one more task you must undertake before you can rise up and take hold for yourself alongside me.
and the vision starts to fade out. You start to see the room work away from you, and you awake in the room in the Silver Shield Inn. Taking a look just off at the moonlight, probably around 3-4 in the morning. But I have just this terrible, terrible sweat. Grognak, in your dream, you see the world of Zay from a top view. It's entirely dark around you, as if you're just floating throughout vast emptiness. And as you start to zoom in on the world, you start to see 4 continents. One that you would recognize. You're actually able to pick out the your mountain range, the Beartooth Pass mountain range, one of the largest ranges within Izora.
Mm-hmm.
And you start to see the continents moving towards a center focal point. And just before they touch, you start to see rising up from each corner a massive size, what you almost think would be like a monolith. A large castle and fortress surround starting to rise up from the center and rest itself at the corner of each point of the now connected continents, being one singular landmass within the world of Zay. You too then wake up, sweating profusely, similar time, and look out upon the dark.
It was a weird fucking dream.
And the rest of you, you fall back asleep. You guys wake up in the next morning.
Robert doesn't go back to sleep.
Rogar just stays up.
He probably goes for a walk to clear his head, and then he just meditates for a bit. Because it would only be, you said he got up, it was like 4. He gets up at 6 usually, so
Okay.
it wouldn't be much longer.
Okay. We could assume, like, at this point, too, that as Rogar goes out on his walk, he walks over to the stables in the steady hand and starts to prepare the cart and the horses for the continuing travel. So the rest of you arise. What do you guys decide to do?
I'd probably walk out to where the cart would be, parked in the stables, and get ready to head out.
I'm gonna walk over to the training courtyard, check out what that's all about.
Okay.
I'm gonna head over to what's at the market?
You haven't been there yet, so you're not entirely sure.
I'm not sure. I'm gonna head over to the market then.
Okay. So we'll follow Grognak first over to the training courtyard. And yeah, you just see some varying what looks like grunts and a couple of what look like to be higher ranking grunts, essentially. Just practicing on some training dummies. They've got their swords out and they're taking some strikes. You see 2 archers just knocking arrows and letting them fly at dummies across the courtyard.
Any trainers?
Not at the moment. You do see, looking out into the sort of like single tent structure, like a canopied structure, one sort of, I guess, again, higher ranking officer, higher ranking than those who are currently training, just kind of observing.
Okay, I want to approach him and just initiate conversation.
Okay. Yeah, you walk up. And how can I help you?
Well, I'm looking for someone to help me train my skills.
Train your skills, hmm? And,
Yes.
Where would you be from? You're not one of us.
No, I'm from the Beartooth Mountains. My name's Grognak. I'm a barbarian.
Grognak, pleased to meet you. Name's Rubio. And, what skills can we help you, perfect?
Well, honestly, I just want to learn how to swing this axe better.
Well, why don't you go stand right over there? And he points to open training dummy along the side. Take a couple swings for me.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll me 3 attack rolls.
That one.
Oh, well, your form's not great. That last swing looked, not too bad, but when you're standing, keep your elbows up. You tend to drop them as you swing down. You want to have a good form as you swing.
All right, got it.
Go ahead and roll me 1 more with advantage.
That one.
Shut up.
Yes, perfect, just like that. So, you're not a bad looking man at all? Any thoughts about joining the Silver Shepherds?
No.
Well, right then, I suppose I can't convince you to join. Just do me a favor, would you, as payment for me giving you a little tip here. When you see others in need, help them out first.
Got it, will do.
Right, pleased to meet you there, Grognak.
Pleased to meet you too. I'm not going to try and pronounce your name.
Hey, Rubio, but it's alright, a handshake's fine.
Okay, that works. I'll shake his hand.
You shake your hand. Angrath, we'll move over to you. You work your way down, find some general market areas. Is there anything in particular you're looking for?
Angrath.
Oh, sorry, I was muted.
That's
I'm
all right.
looking for like smithing tools, lockpicks, that type of thing.
You find not a locksmith, but you find just kind of like a general blacksmith.
A blacksmith. What do they do? Like for?
I mean,
weapons?
they're just general metal workers. So you kind of walk up, you see a bit more of a rugged, burly man, larger than Frank even, and he's just sitting over an anvil, kind of hammering a hot piece of metal onto the anvil. As you walk up, and he stops, wipes the sweat growing on his head, and says,
Well, hello.
Hello, good sir. I have a box, metal box I'd like to get. What would you charge to do such work?
Metal box you'd like opened.
Yeah, like a lock box.
Yeah, let me see the box.
Show him the box. Pull the box.
you give it to him.
Sure, I hand it over to him.
Okay.
decent weight to it.
Kind of like shakes it around by his ear.
Older key, not one of these newer fancier keys here, but I mean, I could get open. Tell me, where'd you get this box?
I found it in an abandoned store.
Roll me deception
Couple
check.
towns over. Perception check.
No, deception.
Deception. Oh, okay.
Because you're lying to him.
Technically, it's currently abandoned.
It is now, but he's kind of suspicious of him.
Is that under skills? Is that what you want it?
Sorry, that was loud. My bad.
Right.
Fucking dog's going crazy.
It's the 5th one under skills.
Yeah, he's got it now. He sees it.
Is that it? Okay.
Yep, you got it.
Abandoned
Sure,
store a couple towns over. What town were you in?
What was that? Neck of the motion. Bexley.
roll me-
Bexley? I think it was a Bexley was the name of it.
Bexley. Good people in Bexley.
Yeah, we were there, and unfortunately the town got leveled by some kind of rock creature that we destroyed. There's really no survivors.
Town was leveled. I mean, it... So you're telling me that you took the lockbox from a town after it was destroyed?
Yes, there was no most of the buildings were rubble, and we found like no survivors.
And you walked upon this town and it was already destroyed?
No, we were fighting. We came back. We were helping the town with a troll problem that they had, and we came back, and this rock monster was out of the ground, and the ground was all leveled, and we ended up killing the creature. We couldn't find any survivors in the town.
No survivors, so you took it upon yourself to walk through the buildings and fancy yourself a lockbox here.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, can't help you.
All right, so I grab my box and take off.
Yeah, he gives it to you. He doesn't like try and keep it. And he just goes back to his forge.
All right. Should have killed him. No, then.
Man, she's worse than you.
Yeah, so this guy wasn't much of a help to you. He was able to see pretty straight away that there was something more to your story that you weren't telling him. Moreover, I guess roll me an insight check.
Insight check.
Yeah. Yeah, giving him a look. He wasn't buying your story, and moreover, you could tell he was kind of upset by the fact that you basically just told him you stole from a town that was destroyed. That didn't seem to sit too well with him.
Understandable.
Is there anything else you want to do over there?
No, I don't think so. I'll just head back to the stable there.
Okay.
Where the horses are.
Yeah, you make your way. You've been to the stables before. You remember where they're at, so you walk your way over there. Grognak, you doing anything else?
I'm heading to the stable.
Yeah, you guys walk over to the stables, presumably start loading up your things and heading out, or is there anything else you want to do while you're here?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, you load up, and you do see Reggie there, Rogar, and he says,
Sir, we've asked one of the others to bring your cart back to Port Pascal.
Well, thank you.
Yes, sir. Is there anything else I can do to help you?
Nope, that'll be all. We'll be on our way.
Okay.
and on your way you are. You guys, yes, are situated right there in Camp Nile. Cart is similar fashion to the cart you had before. Has about the same carrying capacity, has 2 horses hitched to it. So how are you planning to get to Wellspring Falls?
By cart.
I mean, like, similar traveling pattern of Rogar and Grognak providing directions and Angrath looking for food and shit.
Yes.
Okay, who's
Although-
gonna keep watch while you're traveling?
If only we had a ranger.
I could do it as well as look for food. If that's fine.
Wait, what happened to Charlie?
Stuff and things.
I'll explain later. I'll tell you later. D&D group. I'll make perception checks.
Okay. Because you're doing 2 tasks, I'm gonna give you disadvantage on both.
That's fine.
You're half-assing 2 jobs instead of whole-assing 1 job. I guess to start, give me survival checks so you can figure out where you're going. Those who are doing that. Okay. And then Angrath, give me your survival check for food and water. Okay. And Borgin, give me survival check and perception check, both with disadvantage.
Survival. And then perception.
Okay. So, Rogar and Grognak. Rogar, probably from getting up 2 hours earlier than you normally even get up, and from having a pretty rough dream last night, you're basically of no use in trying to figure out from where you're at to getting to Wellspring Falls. Grognak, you've got a little bit better of an idea, and generally can work your way to move to whichever little hex you want to move to. Angrath, you do find some food and some water. And Borgin, you're keeping a lookout, but kind of tired, just generally overall exhausted from the day you had before. I mean, you had a pretty rough encounter during the day. Scared for your life during part of it from a giant dragon who could have just killed you in one bite. Not looking around for dangers, not like on your priority list. But you didn't see anything kind of run up at you guys either throughout the travel during the day. However, you did fail to notice that the terrain has become a lot rougher than it was when you were traveling through the Great Plains near Bexley. It's a lot more mountainous. It's a lot more jagged now. There are some easier paths in the valley, but it's much more hilly and rugged. Roll me a d6.
Who?
Borgin.
1d6.
Okay, so as you're traveling, generally because part of the perception as well would be like also pointing things out like within the terrain geographically, things to Grognak and Rogar as they're like controlling the horses in the cart and trying to make sure they're moving in the right direction, checking the map periodically throughout the day. You failed to point out that there was a slight break in the ground, just kind of generally due to dryness and just like erosion of rocks in particular areas. But there was one particular break in the ground that was along the path that you're following to. And so as they were both kind of looking down on the map and controlling the horses, you failed to point this out, and there's this huge kind of jolt of the cart as you're traveling. And you stop and get out for a moment, walk around the cart, and you see that the back right wheel has now developed a split in the wood. And steel as well. It would be steel kind of around the wooden frame and spoke of this wheel. That it's busted through the steel and now the wood is starting to split.
Well, fuck.
Oi, that's a bit of a trouble there.
Looks like we might be walking.
Yeah.
I guess roll me perception checks, Rogar and Grognak. You guys are pretty familiar with traveling by cart. or by coach. You've been kind of leading, navigationally speaking, this expedition since the beginning. Grognak, you just know kind of how to handle horses and navigate a coach. You're not really sure all of the inner functionings of it. Rogar, you pretty much know the quality of the coaches made by the Silver Shepherds. This one's not nearly as nice as what you would find near the actual Citadel. I'm failing to find what the actual word is for it. What's your main hold called again? Silverstone, right? Yeah, Silverstone. So it's not nearly as nice as what you'd find in Silverstone. This is pretty rough, relatively speaking, but still made under the same specifications of how the Silver Shepherds would put together coaches. You take a look at it for a few minutes and say, yeah, it's split, it's starting to break, but also feel pretty confident you could probably continue to travel for a couple days.
I'm also proficient in wood carving and smiths, if that helps.
Wood carving and what?
My judgment. Smith tools, if that helps my judgment, and like.
Yeah, I would say that you could look at this, and that's a good call. So you'd be able to look at this and kind of gauge that, yeah, it needs to get fixed sooner rather than later, but we could probably keep going for now.
Hey, I want to try to fix it if possible.
It would take you quite some time because, again, you can only do like, let me see exactly how mending is worded, but it's basically like one break each time you cast mending. Let me see.
Okay.
Single break or tear an object you touch. Yeah, there's a lot of splinters, so it would take you 1 minute to like try and.
What if he just fixes the metal?
He could do the metal. You can absolutely do that. But looking at the wood, you hit this rock pretty hard as there was this gap in the road that you had hit. So he could repair the metal. It'd probably take him, maybe 2 or 3 minutes to just do the metal. But looking at the actual integrity of the wheel and spokes itself, it's not broken, but there's split and it's caused some fracture near that point of the split by the metal anyways, that to repair each individual one would probably take quite some time. Not that he can't do it, but it's not exactly time that, unless you guys choose to just sit on the side of the road for probably a half a day.
Well, how long have we been traveling? Like how far?
You've been, I'd say this is later into the day.
Well, then, looking at it, I'll say, after Grognak says we're gonna have to walk, or I say, no, it's not too bad. We should be able to ride on it for a couple more days, but it does need to get fixed rather quickly. And then he turned to Angrath and say, "How did you fix that wall in the end?"
I use a spell that I have. I can fix it, but it'll take a bit of time.
Okay. Well, if you have time tonight, perhaps you can fix a little bit of it.
Yeah, I can do that. We'll fix it like in sections, like work on it for a couple hours here and there.
All right. Then I'd say we can continue until nightfall. We just have to be careful. And I'd get back on the cart, getting ready to go, or prepare to move out again.
I'll do the same.
Yep. So you guys continue to move on. Night is starting to fall. Horses are starting to get a little bit tired and restless. You can kind of tell that they're jerking a little bit more. It's not just a casual walk at this point. Roll me... Well, I guess Borgin, with your perception check, this would also be looking for like good places to camp. You don't really find any. And it's not that you particularly didn't find any. It's just kind of a poor spot in the valley of some of these mountains in which you're just kind of surrounded by rock. There is a path you're still traveling on. But it's going to take some actual walking around and looking to try and find a spot to like pull off and set up camp beyond just setting up camp right in the middle of the trail or in the middle of the path.
Yeah, I'll do some walking around, like investigating, see if there's somewhere at least somewhat off the path.
Okay. Then I guess roll me investigation check.
I'll go
Perception
with him.
check's fine.
I'm gonna go with him because shouldn't split the party too much.
Yeah, that's fine. You can help him if you want, which would give him advantage.
Yeah, that's why I was going with him.
Okay.
Wait, two.
Borgen, you walk down about 5 minutes and just find this perfect clearing, just sort of an opening built into an underhang of the cave, and are able to find a spot that'll fit the cart and the horses safely underneath, and room to set up a fire and get some rest.
All right, we'll do it then.
Yeah, so I guess we walk back, and we'd probably walk the horses down. We wouldn't all be riding in the cart, so I'd do animal handling on each of the horses while we're walking them.
Yeah, they walk just fine with you. They like you.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you guys make your walk down. You find yourselves a nice little spot to take a rest in the evening. How are we setting up the watches for the night?
I'll take first.
I'm gonna probably spend an hour or so working on that cart
Okay.
before I go to sleep.
Find an ego. A what?
I'll take a second watch.
Yeah, Rogo would probably be feeling pretty rough, so he wouldn't be the first to volunteer, but if no one else had, he would have. But since those two volunteered, he's gonna go crash.
All right. So Grognak's taking a watch. Borgen's taking a watch. You guys gonna do 4 hours each?
That works.
Yep.
Okay.
Where do you find
And yeah, Angrat's gonna spend probably an hour or so working on the cart. I guess Grognak, give me perception check. Okay. Yeah, you
today, man.
you spend some time just kind of looking out. Even with your dark vision, it doesn't give you you can't just see into infinity with it. It basically gives you just kind of a okay field of vision for things that are pretty closely encroaching camp. You don't really find any. You see a couple squirrels run by, but you don't hear anything. You don't see anything. More likely, it's because after you noticed that Angrath went to sleep, you were just kind of sitting, thinking about your dream and contemplating that, and fell asleep yourself.
Well, fuck.
Borgen,
that I have to do to break
give me a Constitution check.
Oh, bugger.
Do you have proficiency in Constitution?
I do not.
Okay, so that's standard 16 then.
you roll a
Yeah, so
save.
you are able to wake up. You wake up, not really sure what time it is. The overhang is kind of blocking any potential moonlight as it is getting closer to a full moon now. Probably a few days out from a full moon again. But you do wake up. You go over to the cart, and you see Grognak fast asleep.
Freaking orcs. Can never do a job right. And then I'll wake him up and tell him to go under the overhang so I can take my shift.
What? I like my.
No, you actually gotta wake him up.
Yeah.
Yeah, RP it, dickhead.
You know what? Okay. Oi! Grognak!
Kick him in the head.
Quick sleep!
Nah.
Quit sleeping! Fell asleep.
No, I did not.
Hey, really? You wake me up, I wake myself up.
Shut the fuck up, dwarf.
Hey, I'm not wrong, am I?
Shut the fuck up, dwarf. I'll learn kick ya.
I'd like to see you try that. We all know how well that worked last time.
I'm just gonna get up, walk over to where camp's set, and lay back down.
Okay. Yeah, so this will begin Borgen's watch. Borgen, roll me a perception check. These rolls today.
Shit rolls.
Better than a 5.
Yeah, you're watching as well. Kind of keep an eye for a little bit. You have dark vision as well, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm the only one without.
Yeah, you're Yeah, keeping watch. Again, field of vision just from the dark vision is roughly just around the area of your camp, basically, before it just sort of fades to black. You as well, the night starts to take you, and it's not as much of like Grognak, for example, just sort of being stressed and contemplating the dream he had, which you technically know nothing about within game, but what's really getting you is what Alexander said to you. You're sort of contemplating the words, thinking about that situation where you're face to face with a dragon, and stood up strongly against him, that even if he were to kill you where you stood, you would do the right thing. And that's really been weighing heavily on your heart since you left, was that you've already strongly aligned to helping people. Now that's sort of been reaffirmed even more, that within your everyday travels, you've now made a commitment with your own life to doing the right thing, making sure that you're doing the right thing, and that if a situation were to arise at the end of time that even though someone you had trusted and would maybe trust with your life, you found to do the wrong thing, you would try and stand up and do the right thing. And as a token of that trust, the dragon gave up what was his probably most beloved possession. So that's really kind of been like weighing on you throughout the day, which is why you maybe weren't as aware as you should have been, and even into tonight. And those thoughts sort of start to take you, and you end up drifting into a sleep.
And you me about sleeping, huh?
And morning starts to come. I guess each of you roll me Constitution checks. Just click the word Constitution in your 6 skills.
I had Constitution save.
That's fine.
Wow, that crit.
Grognak, you're the first to awake. You hear... Oh, I guess you feel the earth start to shake as you start to hear cracking coming up from above you.
Hey guys, you should probably wake the fuck up now. Guys,
What are you doing to wake people up?
I'm just yelling at everybody. Just the fucking earth is shaking. Get up!
Rogar will, like, as soon as he's awake, his eyes snap open, and he sits up.
Yep. Rogar, you would wake up next. Borgin, you would be waking up as well. Angrath is still sleeping. Rogar,
Did I fall asleep on the cart?
Yep.
Okay.
Rogar, roll me perception check. Grognak, roll me perception check. Rogar, you just kind of feel a lot of shaking and hear some cracking of stone. Not exactly sure where it's coming from. Grognak, you take a look up and see that the overhang you guys were sleeping under the night before, the sun is starting to creep up. It is morning. This is coming down. You've got about 1 minute to get the hell out of the way.
Oh, fuck. Run. Everybody run. Somebody get Angrath and run. Fuck it. I'll get Angrath.
Are you staring up as you're saying that?
Yes.
Can I then see it?
Yeah, now you can see it.
Yeah, I'll get to the cart and get the horses out.
Grognak, you get the horses, I'll get Angrath.
I'll get Angrath. You get the horses. Fuck
I'll
off.
give it a shot, Jay.
Okay, so who's doing what?
I'm getting Angrath.
I
Okay.
ran straight to the horses as soon as I looked up and saw.
me and Rogard messing with the horses.
So you ran. So who's running both to get the horses? It's
I wouldn't be
Borgin
riding
and.
the horses, but I'd be like jumping over like the back of the
Rogar
car.
and Borgin.
Okay, and
And I'm
presumably none of you are wearing your armor, right? You wouldn't sleep traditionally in your armor.
I sleep in my armor. No, wait, no, it was
sleep
determined that I
naked.
sleep nude.
I'm not gonna sleep in.
No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab my
Scale or
armor.
whatever I'm
I'm gonna
wearing.
grab my armor and then grab Angrath.
Okay, so
I'm
you're
actually-
grabbing your armor and Angrath. I'm just going to assume that maybe like your weapon and armor is kind of laid next to you. I think the rest of your belongings are in the cart itself.
I would have put my chainmail in the cart, but I would have kept my sword next to me.
That's fine.
When I went to sleep, I would have tied everything to my pack and slept on my pack.
That's
So it would've
fine.
been like a pillow.
Going.
So, Rogar, roll me animal handling checks, and Borgin, roll me animal handling checks. If you both are fucking with the horses.
Do I get an advantage because they already like me?
No. But,
No.
so, one horse, the second horse that you go up to, the horse hitched on the right, is real responsive to you.
That's the one I rolled an 18 on. That's the one I had the better animal handling before, so he liked me more. So that's
Yeah.
perfect.
And so he's pretty quickly aware of the situation. He's following your lead. You're unhitching. Are you unhitching him, or are you just trying to move the entire cart?
No, I'm getting the whole cart.
Okay, so he starts trying to move and going. The other horse hears this cracking, looks up, and just refuses to move. Borgin, you're now walking up and trying to help, and in fact trying to pull this horse along as well. And as you do so, the horse it sort of snaps out of its fear and starts to get up and move. And just as it starts to move, I guess, how are you positioned? How are you walking the horses? Or are you on the cart? Are you on the ground?
I'd be on the ground, like grabbing. They're not spurs. What are?
Just the essentially lashings. What's holding? All
bridle.
Yeah, the lashings. Like
Yeah,
I'd be
the
grabbing
bridle.
and trying to pull it with me.
right,
Yeah,
so
I
you're
would be
walking,
standing
pulling
in
them.
I would be standing in front of it, pulling it backwards.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be doing that as well.
So pulling it backwards, as in like you're.
I'm walking backwards and pulling them forwards. Like,
Yeah.
they're walking
Okay,
forwards,
yeah,
I'm
I got it, I got
backing
it. Okay.
up. Ahead of them.
Yeah, so you both are doing that. Angrath, we'll assume you've woken up at this point with all the commotion. What are you doing?
I'm gonna get out of that cave if I'm still in it and grab all my stuff.
Did you sleep with all your stuff by your side, or do you have things on the cart as well?
I guess my regular pack. I got my weapon, my arm, and my lockbox in my backpack. So I guess I got everything with me.
Okay. Yeah, you grab your stuff. And Grognak and Angrath, roll me dexterity saving throws.
God damn it.
Saving throws? Ooh, that's not good for me.
It's beautiful for you. Just in the nick of time, as you're grabbing your things, the cart is slowly starting to move forward. You see this thing coming down. You take a jolt and just jump straight for the path with all of your might as this rock comes down and crushes the cart. Horses, thankfully being pulled along by Rogar and Borgin, are safe. The lashings break. They sort of jerk and lift themselves up into the air on their back legs for a moment, letting out this large kind of neigh, and then land back down. You guys spend some time to try and calm them down, and are okay, relatively speaking.
So much for the cart.
Cart is completely destroyed. You have 2 horses. I guess all your packs, you've managed to collect those and save those. Does anybody sleep in armor, by the way?
Well, we decided a while back
I
that
say
Grognak
you
sleeps
don't.
nude.
Yeah, you sleep nude.
That couldn't have been a pretty sight for everybody.
So Grognak, you're just literally standing there with like your bag in one hand, naked in front of the party.
I'm gonna put my armor on.
Yeah, no. So like, I'd wear clothes. I wouldn't say like I wouldn't wear my fine clothes. I'd wear like some rag like clothes that you'd wear under armor. I'd
Okay.
sleep in that.
So you guys start
Ro-
to don your armor then. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Rogar, while we're sleeping like on the ground and outside and shit, like when we're in an inn, he takes his armor off, but when we're traveling, he doesn't. That's why when we're in the inn, I shine my armor and make it look all nice.
Mhm.
It's off. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys start to don your armor, get ready. Horses are visibly shaken. Cart has been destroyed. There's just a mound of rock next to you. Take a few moments pass and the dust starts to clear.
That was close.
That was a bit. That That was a bit much.
Well, that was a fine place to camp. Nice spot you picked out there.
It seemed fine for when. It seemed fine last night.
Well, obviously that wasn't the case.
I can tell that now.
And as you guys are collecting your things, getting your armor on, you see a young boy, well, young man boy, striding up to you on horseback. Goes, "Oh man, I heard all the clatter. Are you guys okay? Did you all make it out?" As he's kind of looking at the rocks and the shattered pieces of wood, what once was your cart laying before him.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and everything but
Do
the
I have
card.
my axe?
What do you say?
Do I have my axe?
Yeah, I'm gonna assume you have everything.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Rogar, when he walked up and asked a question, I said, everything but our cart.
That's yeah, it's a tough break. I'm sorry to see that. Name's Victor. Who are each of you?
It was Rogar.
No.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Nice to meet you, Rogar and Borgin.
Is Grognak still nude?
No, I'm gonna assume he's got his armor
Good.
on now.
I'm just gonna look at him. Grognak.
I'm Angrath.
Nice to meet you all. Looks like you probably have lost some supplies in there. And we're going to say at this point, too, that all of the extra water skins you had and your rations were destroyed with the cart.
No.
Wait,
You-
even
so
the
you-
ones that I was carrying?
You each have one water skin on you. And we'll say that you each have 3 rations on your person. I feel like you would have... Because rations are pretty heavy. In fact, they weigh...
2 pounds a piece.
Yeah, and you guys had a ridiculous number of rashes. So I would say that you probably had most of them stored just on the cart, so you wouldn't be like carrying them all on your pack every day. Because I think Angrath, you had like 17 of them, right?
I had
Yeah.
11. I had 11 left.
I had the most. I had 15.
I had 17.
Okay, yeah, there's no way you're walking around with 34 pounds of just rations on your person. We're going to say...
I'm pretty sure I incorporated it into my total weight, and I'm still only at 115. Maybe not.
Your total weight at 115, but reasonably traveling every single day. I don't think you're walking around with 17 rations when you've got a cart. Certainly not when you're not expecting a cliff to break overhead. So yeah, I'm going to say each of you have 1 water skin on your person, and we'll call it 3 rations. You can change that in your inventory.
How many
And
rations?
3.
Okay.
And Victor looks and says, "Well, got a place just up the road here. If you guys would, like to get away and get something to eat. Check in town. We've got. I know we've got 1 cart for sure. Might have a couple more. We can always, check with Corner Oswald. I know he usually travels by coach. Maybe we can help you out and get you a new one here."
Can I look up and investigate the break in the cliff and see if I can see if there's something else that would have caused it, or?
Roll me an investigation check. Yeah. Your best guess, you're not particularly proficient in stone or anything.
Wink, wink, dwarf.
Say that again?
Nothing.
Your best guess is, the tremor in the ground. It was probably already kind of a weakened, more eroded overhang anyways. And that there's just the tremor in the ground just caused it to split and fall.
Alright, and since the player doesn't trust him and Rogar doesn't trust him, I'm going to inside him. Okay, never mind. Well, he's telling the truth. Let's go.
Yeah,
While
no,
this is all
he
going
doesn't
on-
seem to have any reason to be lying to you.
Well, while this is going on, Grognak's gonna pull out his bottle of fire whiskey and start drinking.
Okay. How much are you drinking? Just like a shot, or are you just chugging?
Now I'm gonna take 3 shots.
Okay.
3 shots of fire whiskey.
Okay. Yeah, Borgin and Angrath, are you guys walking along?
Yeah.
Yep, just walking along.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys walk for a little bit, bringing your horses with you, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
I'd be pulling one horse. I don't know who else is getting another horse. I'd be pulling the horse that likes me.
Whoever's pulling the other horse, roll me a animal handling check.
I think it should be just, yeah, I'll do it since I'm the one pulling along.
Yeah, this horse is not wanting to move with you, Borgin. It's just tugging at you. You're like, oh, come on. And it's kind of a funny sight to see for everybody else, too. Just because you're small and this horse is easily double your size as you're like
Grognak walk up
trying
and
to pull him along.
I'll say I-
Yeah,
good at
you
him.
can. Give me an animal handling check. I'm sorry, Angrath, what were you saying?
I'm good at handling.
Yeah, you can help.
animals.
You can help, or yeah, Grognak is resisting you as well. Angrath likes you, probably because you don't smell of whiskey and aren't trying to rip at its face like Borgin and Grognak are doing out of frustration at this point. You go up, you take the time to pet it, make sure it's okay, and it starts to like you. It starts to walk along with you. So you guys walk for probably 20, 30 minutes. Victor tells you along the way that he's a hunter, but he actually owns a hunting shop in the town as well. Tells you that you're heading to the small town of Greymore. And you walk up to this little inn, right in the center of town. Well, let me go find the coroner and we'll see if we can see what we can do about getting you a cart. At the same time, you're welcome to go into the bend and get some food.
I want to do an investigation check to see how shitty this town is.
Yeah, roll me an investigation check.
I'm just gonna thank him and go inside.
It's a small little village. It's not like some of the buildings are nicer looking than others. It's not like it's completely fallen apart or run down. I mean, it's holding together, but you could just tell it's quite like it's a small town. There's not a lot of money pouring into it. Moreover, there's not a lot of people who live here either. That, as far as you can tell, you do see and walk past a couple shops on the way, and you walk past a couple houses. You see some forest along the side as well. But yeah, it's not bad, not the best either.
I'm just gonna take a big gulp of my fire whiskey, put it back in my bag, and then walk inside the inn and just say, fucking A.
Okay, and as you've been walking, roll me a constitution check.
God damn it. I knew that was coming. Fuck.
Yeah, you stumble your way in to the door as and as you stumble in, nobody's inside.
I'm just gonna go sit down.
All right, you go sit down. What are the rest of you doing?
Well, I walked in first, so
Oh, you walked in as well.
I was
You
the
don't
first to walk in.
see anybody. Roll me a perception check, though. Okay, looking out one of the windows, you do see a small gathering of people, sort of clustered around you. You see Victor walk over there as well, and go up to man wearing some finer clothes, and is like trying to get his attention. But yeah, you just see a collection of people standing outside. Small collection, probably maybe 6, 7 people. Victor included.
Okay. Does Grognak still walk into an empty inn?
Yeah, you're in there as
Yes.
well. It's empty besides you being in there.
Okay.
And then Borgin and Angrath, have you guys walked in, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I'll walk into the inn.
Yeah, I just follow everybody else.
Okay. Yeah, you guys are in there, see the same sight.
You had me worried for a second when you said he walked into an empty inn. I was like, is it magical? Are we trapped?
No, so you see the same sight. Wait a few minutes, and then Victor ends up walking back in, walks up to you, Rogar, and says, well, so it sounds like something's going on. Maybe you want to come speak with Coroner Oswald himself.
I'll just nod and stand up and start to walk out. I'll look over at
Oh, here, I'll show you
Borgin.
guys what Victor looks like, by the way, too.
I'll look over at Borgin to see if he's gonna join me, but I won't make direct eye contact with the other two because I don't want Grognak anywhere near anyone.
So does Rogar make direct eye contact with Borgin?
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair enough.
Fuck you.
I mean, I'll get up and start walking with him then.
Okay.
Grognak's just gonna yell, bartender!
And there's nobody around. Or I should say you hear no response, rather. So, yeah, you guys walk up, walk out. And it's kind of cold this morning as well. More due to the fact that you're in the mountains. So the elevated, or the elevation has made it a little cooler than what you guys had first experienced in Port Basca and even into Bexley. But you walk out, and you see, or rather, I should just say, Victor brings you over to a man and says, Mr. Oswald, sir, these were the people I was speaking about. Their cart was just destroyed maybe 30 minutes to an hour ago on the main trail. Do you think we can do something to help them out? And man walks up to you. This is what he looks like. And he says,
Wait, I didn't see that.
can you see it now?
Nope.
Can any of you guys see that?
I can go into the journal and click on
Oh,
the
hang
vector's
on.
image,
I'll,
but-
here. I might have to do that first, yeah. All players.
Victor's image didn't appear on the screen either at first.
Oh, alright. Can you see it now?
Yeah, I can see him.
Okay.
Oh, this dude.
Yeah, so this is who you see. And he says, yes, well, you need a cot, And he's pretty finely dressed. I guess roll me a general insight check, Rogar. Yeah, no, you're just a little more kind of frustrated and disheveled that your cart's broken. You're not like trying to look into him too much. Moreover, it's a little chilly, and the sight you see behind him looks to be some blood and a body lying on the ground, and says, well, I'd be happy to speak with you about a cart, but we're dealing with a little bit of a situation here. Do you care to take a look?
Sure. We're a little confused as why he's asking a complete stranger to look at a corpse in the middle of town, but yeah, he'll.
Do you say that out loud?
No, not that he just says sure.
Okay. Yeah, roll me an investigation check.
Is Borgin doing any of this as well, or because he followed me?
Yeah, Borgin and Angrath, I believe, followed you, right?
I didn't. Angrath didn't say anything. I didn't look at Angrath or.
So should I roll the insight and the investigation as well?
You can do insight if you want. You can do investigation as well if you want.
Yeah,
Mine.
I'd follow that. I would follow them out as well.
Okay.
Should then.
I probably don't know anything.
And then, yeah, if you would like to do those as well, Angrath, you're welcome to.
Okay. Investigation.
Okay. Angrath, you get an air that this guy is very well off. Oswald, the coroner, very well off, very well to do. Sort of carries an esteem about him. He's like stands up a little more proper with his kind of nose in the air, but also seems very troubled right now as well. On the investigation checks, Borgin, you taking a look, you see a body that looks like it's got a long laceration from its left shoulder blade down to its right hip. Likely severed the spine of this poor person, and could have been done with like a sword or dagger. Definitely not like with bare hands. This isn't like someone was just attacked from behind and beat up, hand to hand. It looks like something actually sharp dug into his body and ripped him from his shoulder down to his hip.
Nice.
Rogar, you see the same thing, and then you start to see you see the blood. There's just a pool of blood underneath where this guy's dead body is lying, and you start to see it sort of trail and lead behind towards the back of the Greymore Bend, maybe suggesting that he was like attacked back there and then chased out into the side of the building where you're at right now.
I'm trying to do the bare minimum, make sure I'm in the house, and see if we can work something out.
Yeah, and like I said, I'll pay him off in full.
And then there was random background noise from a retarded faggot.
Regardless, even if I don't get my paycheck before the 20th from the new job, it'll be just a week after.
Hey, fuckboy, mute yourself.
I think he did. He literally left.
Okay. So the coroner walks back over to you as you are actually you walk this trail, Rogar, just to, try and see, and and he looks over to you and says,
well, this is quite interesting, something I didn't see before. Well, no matter, we'll have to assess the taxes. So, tell me, who are you? And Victor was telling me something about a cart. What can we do for you?
My name's Rogar. We're headed to Wellspring Falls, and our cart was destroyed. Like the roof of the cave we were staying in for the night. Unfortunately, if Victor told us that you might be able to help us, and if you can spare our cart, we would be grateful.
Well, I suppose Victor is correct in that I do have a spare cart. It is of my personal estate. And you're traveling where, you said, to Wellspring Falls?
Correct.
Now I do wish to go back. Sent me to this decrepit town with these awful people. Not enough money here to go around. Not like the comforts I used to have, but nevertheless, here I am. Tell you what, I have a cart. You help me, I'll help you. I've had way too many of these damned overviews of these dead bodies coming up over the days that it's a lot for one man to take on, you know what I mean? You ever feel overworked at times? Overworked and underpaid, certainly.
Overworked for sure.
Tell you what, we've had a ongoing of sorts like this matter, in, I suppose, similar fashions. Help me get to the bottom of it, and I'll give you a cart, no charge.
I assume at least Borgin followed us?
Yeah. I would have followed.
Yeah, that's what Angrath.
Yeah, you guys are all standing there together then. He's looking at each of you and saying it. Particularly you, Rogar, because you happen to find the trail of blood.
Mm-hmm.
Seem to quite have a knack for these things as well.
I'm sure we could spare a few days if needed and help out. And I'll look over to Borgin and Angrath.
I ain't got nothing. We don't have to be to Wellspring on a certain time. We just have to get there when we can.
Beats walking.
Yes, that's the spirit. Certainly carts are much nicer to travel by than walking, particularly to Wellspring Falls. That would take you over a week on foot. Not to mention the exhaustion of the troubled terrain as well.
I mean, we wouldn't be traveling by cart. We have 2 horses, but cart would be a lot nicer than just on horseback.
And he kind of looks over you and says, oh, well, yeah, 3 people, 2 horses, man of your size. Suppose it could still work. But regardless, my offer stands. I'm willing to give you a cart free of charge. You help me and the city of Greymore out. And consider it a favor to Wellspring Falls as well.
Aye, we got nothing better to do at the moment. Don't have a cart.
What can we do to help?
Yes, well, let me fill you in to begin with. Some days have gone by, and well, maybe about a month ago, Frank's horse was killed. Probably unconnected to anything that's going on, but had some animal marks, some slashes along the throat. However,
similar that slashes to that corpse.
Unfortunately, I didn't get much of a good look. My more specialized in people than animals. Could have been wild dogs or a wolf, for all we know, that got his horse. But the thing that was precarious to me was the death of Sir Thames. He was, well, shall we say, a good defender of this town. Good man. Well off as well. Only working into the taxation of his estate for the Greymore citizens today, but Sir Thames was killed about 2 weeks ago. We buried him in his garden, but I'm curious to see if they're connected. He did have some similar slashes, at least a long laceration like we see here, and I'm starting to worry that with his death and some others that have occurred, even a little more recently, if maybe they're connected in some way.
How many instances like this have occurred?
Well,
Some. Do you have a precise number?
well, let me think here. I at least know of Sir Thames and now poor George here, but and he starts to kind of like think back. He puts his finger onto his chin. Well, there was Quentin Neri about a week ago. Catherine's cattle, but again, that's just a cattle. So 2 people and a livestock and a horse within a matter of about a month's time.
Yeah, we're just shaking his head, processing it.
And you're welcome to speak with all of the townsfolk as well. They should be open to helping you, and if not, just let me know. I'm always willing to adjust their tax rates for being cooperative.
Thank you for your help.
Yes. Oh, well, and, I mean, if you need to speak with the others, you're welcome to, but we could certainly make our way over to George's home as well. Take a look at, Sir Thames' home, too.
I'm gonna look over at Borg and Ingra. Should we collect our other party member first?
Is he still coherent?
He's probably been in that inn for a while now, probably an hour. Pretty... can't handle a drink.
This has been all of a matter of, like, 15 minutes, probably.
Ah, never mind then. Aye. I mean, you can't handle a drink as well as I can. We've seen that before.
This is not the time to gloat, Dwarf.
I'm not gloating, I'm
Simple
just
question.
stating a fact. I'm just saying he may be drunk right now, and it may not be the best idea to bring him along.
It's never a good idea to bring him along.
Aye, that'd be true.
This is what George Gilly looks like, by the way. Or at least when he was alive, this is what he looked like.
Oh shit. Okay.
This is the dude that just died.
This is the
Yeah.
dude that you just kind of came upon and was dead, yeah.
I'm still standing there waiting for a yes or no from Angrath and Borgren.
I mean, it's your call. I don't care anyway.
But it's those. Alright.
I have no
You know,
preference.
Peek in the window and see if he's passed out or not.
Yeah, roll me perception check. And I guess Grognak, roll me constitution check if you are here. He's wide awake. You get a perfect view on the inside, Angrath. Again, nobody's in there. They're all still sort of standing. Like the townsfolk are still kind of standing near his body.
Well, he's still up. Maybe we should just go grab him so he doesn't cause trouble when they're not around.
Is he coherent though? That's a real question.
Yeah, he's sitting upright.
Alright.
He's sitting upright. His head's a little. Well, no, I mean he's sitting okay.
Better have him with us than leave him alone.
Right.
I'll call out, hopefully loud enough that he can hear him. Grognak! Since I assume we're close enough, I'll just call out for him.
Yeah, it's
Do I
Grognak.
gonna roll anything to hear that?
Roll me perception check.
Okay.
Since you are in a building and they're outside of a building.
Also,
Yeah, you hear him.
D&D tonight.
Alright, I'll walk out from the inn and try to find them.
Okay. Yeah, you walk out. You're sort of hit with cool, frigid air. Walk past a group
I
of
don't give a
people.
fuck, I live in the mountains.
What do you say?
I said, I don't give a fuck, I live in the mountains.
Well, then you walk into a familiar climate, and yeah, start to turn, and you see a group of people sort of standing huddled together, and then just beyond them, you end up seeing the rest of your party.
What? You said my name, what do you want? You got booze?
No, just come with us and try not to look too stupid. I'm going to turn to Oswald and say, shall we?
Yes, perhaps we shall. And you hear a yell out, "Hey, where you going over there? Where you going there, Oswald? What were we supposed to do here with George?" Yes, well, bring George to Father Dagor, and we're going to see if... Well, we're just going to pay a visit to his home. Oh, you better tell Erin what's going on. I don't know if she knows yet. Yes, well, if Erin is there, we'll tell her, of course. And you see him roll his eyes as he turns his head and starts walking. But yeah, you guys start to walk by, and yeah, walk through the woods for probably about a half hour or so. Oswald would tell you that George Gillies was a local blacksmith in town, but lived a little ways away. His shop, you'd bring things to his shop periodically, or come into the market to buy foods and such, but lived probably about an hour in the forest outside of the main town. When you get there, you walk in, and the doors and windows are hung open. The curtains are shivering in the cold wind. Water is seeped into the front of his house over the threshold of the door into the dark, empty home. And as you walk in, you notice that the floorboards in the kitchen have been pried up. Looks like the house has been flipped and turned over at some point. You're not sure when. And on the table, you find a small, like, artless lockbox.
So is his forge a part of his house, or is his forge in town?
Are you just
Like,
asking me, or
his
you
shop.
asking?
No, I'm asking you. Like, because he was saying it on our way, but you didn't say specifically. Or I didn't
Oh yeah,
understand
that's fine.
what you were
His
explaining.
forge is at his house. It's along the side. So you see that opening right there on the side, like
Yep.
right around here. Yeah, that's where his forge would be, along the side there.
Okay.
But you walk up. This is generally the scene that you see. And again, house is in shambles. You see like bookcases knocked over, bed linen ripped off along the sides, floorboards in the kitchen ripped up. But you do find a lockbox that's just kind of been like, looks like it's been tossed onto the table, and you see the table's been scratched, and there's a dent as to where it looks like it's just been tossed without any care.
It appears they were searching for something more valuable than whatever was in that lockbox.
Or they couldn't get it open.
So they just left it?
But possibly.
Can I do an investigation specifically on the forge area to see like when it was last used, if it's been running while we've been walking or whatever?
Yeah, absolutely. Is that, do you just do the investigation? Is that 18 it?
Yeah, that's the 18.
Okay.
That's four.
Yeah, so you walk over to the forge area. What is something interesting of note is the forge has been burned out completely. I mean, you're coming up into spring, and I guess judging by the state of the house as well as it looks like the fact that the forge hasn't been tended to in a couple days now, the house has probably been abandoned. I'd say maybe around the same time as George's killing, maybe a little before. It's not hot. It wasn't like tended to this morning, probably not yesterday either, which would make sense if he'd spent a day in town, probably stayed at the inn as he was doing his shopping and some things to bring back for his house.
Yep. Can I? Is there like can I see a piece that he was working on? If like he was in the middle of a project or anything like that?
Yeah, actually, you're able to see a locking mechanism, and you see 3 bars sort of running across. Looks like he was working on some of the fastenings that would connect the 3 bars.
Can I do a check to see if I notice any weird smells?
Yeah, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Damn it!
No. I would give that to you with disadvantage as well since you're intoxicated, but same thing. No, you don't smell anything. With your investigation check... Oh, I guess give me another investigation check, Rogar.
Okay.
Okay, so looking around the forge and then kind of walking throughout the house, you see a small set of footprints. Pretty dried, they're not fresh by any means, but they're also new enough in a sense that you can still see the impressions. Sort of walking around the house, you look up, just kind of casually peering around, you find the rafters and you're able to see just sitting atop the rafters, it looks like a keys on an overhang.
Is it bare feet or are they like shoed or do they have shoes?
Roll me a nature check.
See if they're wearing shoes.
Well, they're not shoes. They look animalistic. They look like maybe like a dog or a wolf, but kind of larger than what you'd expect.
Okay.
Do you want to try and grab the key that you found?
If it's within reach.
Roll me an athletics check. See if you can climb to grab it.
Oh, baby, my +6.
Jesus Christ. You just jump and grab it. You don't have to climb. Yeah, you jump and grab it. You grab the key. Borgin and Angrath, what are you guys doing?
I do not know.
Oh, you're in the house right now, I would assume. Oswald is just sort of walking by, writing things down in a notebook.
Is there like anything stone or something that I might be able to make a history check on, or something?
No,
To see,
no
like-
stone.
All right. Well, can I make a history check to see like the last time something was moved or something?
Give me an investigation check.
Investigation. Okay. I'm just trying to get my advantage, but all right.
No idea. I mean, the place has been turned. You couldn't tell whether this happened a month ago or a day ago. You do find a book, though, as you're kind of walking throughout. You enter what looks like a small little study or small reading area, and you find what looks like a log book just sitting kind of open on a table.
Yeah, I pick it up and look through it.
Okay, as you read through it, shows that last couple months has been pretty slow for the smith. He was commissioned to make a large and complicated system of latches and bars. Didn't really keep extensive notes and didn't write down who ordered it, but you do know that he had a pretty big order come in recently.
Okay.
What does this key look like it goes to? Does it look
Oh,
like
you're
it
just
goes to
standing
a
outside
lockbox?
holding a key right now. It's a smaller key.
Oh, so the key was out by the forge?
Key was in the rafter on an overhang of the house, is where you spotted it as you were walking around the forge and then walking outside following the footprints.
Oh, okay, so it was like back here.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I keep following the footprints with like a survival or nature or something? Or
Yeah, I mean, you can just kind of follow them. Give me a nature check. Or a survival check, rather. I'm sorry. Yeah, you follow them probably for about 5 minutes. It gets deeper and deeper into the woods, and then they just sort of fade. You start to lose any sense of them.
Okay. And they aren't kobold footprints, right? Because I know kobold footprints.
How do you know kobold footprints?
Let me find it. I had it somewhere in my backstory. Move to someone else while I try and find it.
Okay. Angrath, what are you doing?
Oh, that chest was that chest? Was it open?
The lockbox?
Lockbox, yeah.
No, are you trying to open it?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna see if I'm not very good at that, but I'm gonna try to open it.
Okay, yeah, it is locked. Roll me a strength check if you want to try and break it open.
Okay. Strength check. All right.
Or give me the athletics check if you want.
Trying to figure out where the strength check is.
You just do athletics
It's on
if
the
you
left
want.
side.
Athletics, okay.
Yeah, you pull and budge, and you do see that it gaps slightly, but the locking mechanism is pretty thick steel and doesn't seem to break for you. You can't find like a weak spot to bust it open.
So I roll a perception check to see if I see him doing that.
I mean,
Or would I just see him
you
doing
could
it?
just see him doing that if you want.
Alright. Angrath, you need help with that?
Hey, Morgan, you open this? Try to see-
Alright, I'll give it a try. I'm gonna use my smith tools and see if I can try to break it open using that.
Do you have smith's tools?
I do. Was that Uncle? Mm-hmm. I do have smith tools. on
Okay.
me.
I guess give me a athletics check. How are you
Oh, okay.
using the smith's tools to open it?
So I imagine like I have like one of those hammer things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like a chisel or something.
Okay.
I'd try like the chiseling at it. So just a strength check, or do you want me to use the actual smith's tools?
What's your smith's tools based off? Let me see really quick.
It's strength.
Is it? Yeah, do me a smith's tools check then. You're chiseling at it, and the more and more you try and like hit and find gaps with this hammer, you find that this looks like it was a pretty well-made lockbox. Whoever designed this lockbox, took a lot of patience, time, and care to craft it and craft it well. That unless you are able to get in, no one's really going to be able to get in.
Alright, well I give you a shot.
Grognak, what are you doing?
Being drunk.
You looking around and doing anything?
I'm just gonna try to see anything at this point.
give me a perception check with disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. I mean, looks like a really dirty house. This guy didn't take care of his house at all. Roll me. You took what? 3 shots of fire whiskey?
3 shots of
Three
fire
and then
whiskey.
large colt.
Yep.
Roll me a d4.
D4.
Yep.
Oh god.
This is where you want to roll a 1.
You are drunk for the next 4 hours.
This guy's house is really dirty.
But we'll bring it down to
Get a maid.
3 since it took you a little close to an hour to get here, and you've been here for a little while now.
Yep. Just he should get a fucking maid. Where is this guy anyway?
He's dead. And are you drunk right now?
Can I
Shut up,
see?
dwarf.
Can I see Grognak through like a window or something? Or no, never mind. I'm way out in the woods. Never
Yeah,
mind.
no,
Never mind,
you're
I'm
probably
Can-
walking back from the woods
What-
at this point now. So
What
no.
check would I have to roll to see if he's drunk?
You don't have to roll
Perception
anything.
check if you really
Perception.
want. Yeah.
Like, can I obviously tell that he's drunk without having to roll?
Grognak, are you trying to like present yourself as
No.
fine? No. All right. Then yeah, just give me a perception check, I guess, Borgin.
Okay.
Yeah, he's drunk. I mean, the DC for that's gonna be like 4. He's visibly drunk.
Why are you always drinking all the time? There's a time for business and a time for drink.
Cause I've been through some traumatic shit, dwarf.
Like what?
Like meeting your mother.
Hey, you wouldn't be allowed near Strelheim. You'd be killed on sight. So nice try with that one.
I'd like to see them try.
Oh, it can be done. I can make sure it'll happen.
And Oswald starts to walk up to you guys and say, yes, well, are we done? I'd really like to get to Sir Thames' home and see if there's any similarities. Seems like there's not much here to collect upon.
Do you know where his wife is? Yeah. Do you know where his wife is, or is his wife just gone?
Oh, poor George Gilly. Can't
Aye.
remember. Don't think he had a wife, to be honest. Has some daughter, Emily Arden, something like that.
Do you know where she is?
Do I look like I am her keeper?
No, I'm just saying, you kind of seem to be like the leader of the town, so...
I'm but
And
a
you're in charge
coroner.
of-
The reason
but
I'm entrusted with the things that I am is I collect tax on behalf of Wellspring Falls for Greymore.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to say. You're here to do something, so I kind of figured you might be... As well, since you are finer dressed than the others, I figured you might be in charge or something, so I'm not sure if you knew.
Well, there is a bit of power and esteem that comes within my role, but where the happenings of a young girl are and her now deceased father, I could kind of care less, to be honest with you.
Alright.
Give me an insight check.
I like him.
Insight?
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't seem like he's the sympathetic type. He more seems like he's here to collect the tax money. He's writing down notes. He's assessed the dead body, probably has some form of conclusion for it. He very much more is here to try and see, okay, what does this guy have in terms of like taxes that can go back to Greymore and the Wellspring Falls, and probably some that he pockets as well. When I say finer dressed, I mean he's dressed a lot nicer than the rest of the people you've encountered so far, just at the one little area around the Greymore Bend.
Like, so would it be like on par with my fine clothes, like noble fine clothes, or?
Maybe not nobility. It's pretty nice. It's worn. It's not like he has multiple sets of fine clothes you're gauging, because the ones he's wearing are a little bit worn. Then again, you've also been walking through the forest. But yeah, I wouldn't say they're as nice as yours. He's not of nobility, it seems. Hell, I mean, he's an actual coroner. He's got, a form of responsibility for the town and what sounds like for Wellspring Falls as well. But he's dressed a lot nicer. So it looks like he can afford nicer clothes and nicer things.
All right. Well, I'm gonna grab that lockbox just in case it is important.
Okay. Rogar, did we ever work out how you know Noel?
Yeah, I
footprints?
was I was unsure, or I would never decide if my striker was going to be human or kobold. So since I didn't specifically write it down, then I just won't worry about it at the moment. I won't know.
Yeah, they just looked more like animal footprints. We'd say at this point, though, you've walked back. I assume key in hand, yeah, or on person.
Yeah,
Okay.
I probably would have. I wouldn't be like holding it in my hand in front of me like a fucking retard.
No, I got it. I'm just asking if you have it. And then, yeah, so Borg, I assume you and Oswald and Angrath and Grognak are just walking out?
Yeah. Is Rogar walking with us?
He's walking up, and Rogar, as you walk up, you notice them starting to walk out of the house.
I what?
You notice that the rest of the party is starting to walk out the front door of the house.
Well, yeah. Where's Rogar? Where'd he go?
You could see me walking up.
Could I, or is he walking behind me?
Phil
He'd
just
be
said
behind you
should
guys.
see-
You can see
Behind
them
me?
walking out the front door. He would be, yeah, you'd be behind them walking in through either the side by the forward or the back door.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna say I'm just gonna keep walking up. If they keep walking, then they'll never know I'm behind them.
You guys see where Rogar went?
Rohun?
The Dragonborn.
Oh, yes.
Don't know. It seemed like he had walked off. And then he turns and he sees Rogar, but he looks like he's coming just up this way. Did you find anything?
I saw some tracks leading out from the forge area, but it was a dead end. Small, animalistic.
Well, so nothing of importance. Come now, we'll go to Sir Thames' home then.
Yep, I follow him in that direction.
Okay. Yeah, and you guys walk for a little while. You sort of go back into the direction of town, and then you sort of just, I guess, go a little further out, I suppose. Back into town, and then he's not like way out of town, but he's more around the edge, has an actual home there. And we'll move you over to that. Here we go. And here we'll give you some new music for that one too. Okay. So as you walk up, it's a very old house, but it's pretty well kept on the outside. It's obvious that he had a penchant for gardening. You remember that Oswald said he was buried in his backyard amongst some of his prized lilies. As you go to open the door is locked. Oswald's kind of checking around, doesn't seem to have a key on himself. But would turn to you and give you permission and say, well, he's gone. Might as well break in.
Alright, well then if everyone, like I'm gonna look at everyone, make sure they back up and pull out my warhammer and hit it right next to the handle.
Yeah, I'll back up.
Give me a attack roll.
That's definitely two-handed, so 9 damage.
Yeah, busts right open. So you walk in, and it's not like George's home in the sense that it was turned upside down. This is, dusty and in disarray, but it doesn't look like anybody's been here. State of the door being locked would just assume that the last time someone was in here was when Sir Thames himself was in here. As you walk in, you see a larger opening, set of stairs along the side, kitchen towards the back. There's a couple little side rooms, and what looks like maybe a drafting table with some papers and some writing on it.
I'm going to turn to the corner and say, did he have any next of kin that you know of?
Sir Thames? Can't think of one.
Let's go back. I guess. Is it like a one-room place, or is it?
No, there's a couple rooms. You see what looks like, I mean, just kind of casually walking around, you find 2 smaller guest rooms downstairs among more of like an open parlor, kitchen, and then like a writing area. And then in the upstairs, you see a like an actual master bedroom kind of open area, bath area.
And was there a like back door downstairs?
Yeah, there would be a back door.
Okay, I'd go into the room that the back door is connected to, and I'm gonna do you want investigation or perception to see if I can see the footprints?
Okay. Investigation. You don't see any footprints. What you find is sort of like a living room type area with a fireplace. There's still some, burned wood and charcoal inside of the fireplace. Kind of dusty furniture, little sitting table. That's about it.
Is the back door locked?
Yeah, back door is locked. You can choose to unlock it if you wish.
You know, unlock it. I was just curious if the was all locked up or
Bash open the back door.
Wait, how would we unlock it? We don't have the key.
You're on the inside of the house now.
Well, yeah, but I
So,
wasn't sure if it was one of the ones where it was just the key went all the way through, like an older lock, like a Victorian lock, or if it was.
no, this one's got like an actual, like
Okay.
arm lever with fasteners.
Okay.
It's not like super fancy. It's still just a pull bar lock.
Yeah, when I lock it, then step out through the door, see if I can see anything out back.
Can I lock the door behind him? No.
Yeah, you can.
No, Rogar won't. He'll think about it.
Angrath, you walk out, and you just find a lot of beautiful flowers. You find some roses, and you find a field of lilies with a mound of, I guess, a mound that's raised above the rest of the level land, with some flowers and things kind of scattered along the top. Not as many like actually grown into the mound as what looks like flowers thrown on top.
Okay.
Borgin, what are you doing?
Is there multiple stories to this house?
There's 2 stories.
Has anybody searched the second story?
Okay.
Has anybody?
No.
I mean, no, I think generally Rogar just did like a walk around to get a view of the house, but
Yeah, I'd go up to the second story and start searching around.
yeah. So you find a like a small bath area in its own room, and then you find a bedroom as well. Inside the bedroom, you see the bed. Obviously, you see a end table, and then you find like a larger standing armoire.
I'm gonna make an investigation check in that room, see if I can find it. See if I can find anything. Investigation.
I mean, generally not. Roll me a d10.
Yes, love rolling dice.
I mean, you open the drawer to the end table, and you find 3 copper pieces sitting in it. Just generally looked like he lived like a simpler life. Atop of the end table, you find a book on horticulture, just sort of describing the different care methods for lilies and roses and other, plant life. Inside, taking a quick look at the armoire, you just find some general clothes. You find leather armor hanging up as well.
Yeah, I'll take that.
You're gonna take it?
Yeah,
Okay.
salad or something.
So you said there were 2 guest bedrooms, a living room, and what else downstairs?
And like a drafting area, like a writing desk, basically.
Yeah. Can I go in there and I'm just gonna go do a general perception check to see like where just like the general abouts of the room, I guess.
Yeah, laid out pretty
Alright.
well. Guest beds don't really look like they've been used in, I mean, you don't know how long. It's pretty dusty in there, but the beds are made as if they were prepared for when a guest would stay there. On the drafting table, you find a half-written letter, and then next to that, a fresh stack of parchment. Roll me an investigation check on that as well.
Did you say a half-written letter?
Yeah, there's a half-written letter on the table, and then there's a stack of fresh parchment. And taking a closer look at the stack of parchment on the top, it looks like there's some impressions on the paper, as if maybe he had written something and then taken it, or yeah, on top of it. So here, I'll show you the first letter that you do find if you want to read it.
Yeah. What would I have to roll to be able to make out the impressions?
Give me an intelligence check.
Alright. And also, I don't see the letter.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm getting it for you. So, here's the letter. I'll let everybody see it. You can read it aloud, Rogar, if you want, or I can read it for you.
Well, I wasn't gonna read it aloud. I was gonna read it to myself. I didn't want them seeing it. Fuck those guys.
Well,
I'm assuming at the moment it's not important, so we're just gonna.
Okay. Well, for the general overall knowledge, whether you choose to show them the actual letter or not, it's up to you, but I will read it aloud for the group.
Dear Ulrich, my old mentor, I pray this letter reaches you in time. After years of seclusion, I wanted from this town. Something is afoot, and I fear it's the shadow of that old curse you once told me about. I can't prove anything yet, but I've started taking measures, and hopefully I'll have what I need in 2 nights. Something to defend myself with. Don't fear, I wouldn't be so stupid as to ask for it sent directly to me. My old contact in the Swords of the Lady will hide it near my house. That said, I will need you to tell me if you remember, and it cuts off with the letter T. And then your intelligence check, you take a look, and you can start to read out something that looks like dearest, and then the second letter starts with a C. Roll me a history check as well. With your history check, you remember as a young boy, sort of being told that if you take a bit of charcoal and rub it on some paper, sometimes it will show through what was written on top of it before.
Okay, and that history check is to see what I know about the Swords of the Lady.
Nothing. That's nothing you've heard of personally.
Okay.
And Borgin and Angrath and Grognak, what are you guys doing?
Well,
I'm gonna wander back in towards what's going on and ask Rogar what he's found.
I'm gonna be a
Everybody
drunkard
seems to
and
do
look for
that.
gold.
Okay. Roll me an investigation check with disadvantage, Grognak. You meander throughout the house. You're like looking under mattresses and shoving your face in like small cupboards and things, like picking up objects and like shaking them aggressively. And as you pick up a small pot in the kitchen and shake it, a copper piece falls out.
Woo!
Borgin, you were upstairs getting leather armor, right?
yeah.
What are you doing now?
I'd probably make my way back downstairs. Well, I should, actually, the other room's a bathroom, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna make an investigation check to see what I find in there,
Okay, go ahead.
since I didn't search that one.
I mean, nothing really of note in the bathroom. You see a small pot of water and a washing basin. And then you see sort of like a larger tub as well. That looks like it's where he cleaned himself. You don't actually see like a toilet or anything. There's no like running water here. But yeah, it's basically all you find. There's nothing like real noteworthy inside there.
All right.
As you start to walk away, though, carrying leather armor, Oswald walks up to you as he's just kind of generally walking throughout the house and says,
That looks interesting. And this came from where?
It came from his closet or something.
and he looks it up and down and looks at you.
I'm going to be needing to take that. Sell it off for the taxation of his estate.
All right.
You give it to him?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm not gonna fight him. I got enough gold. I got a decent amount of gold right now.
Yeah.
So what was Ingrath doing?
And Angrath, I think you were walking up to see what was going on with Rogar, right?
Yeah, I was gonna ask Rogar what he found.
Okay.
So what do you say?
Like, what'd you find there, Rogar? Anything interesting? The desk?
An unfinished letter, and on this piece of paper you can see where he wrote something on it, but I can't make it out. And I'll hand it to Ingrath. Can you tell what it says? Or what it said?
Can I do a check to see if I can figure that out?
Yeah, give me an intelligence check. Not really. Kind of hard to make out since there's nothing written on it. You can give me a history check.
Well, I was gonna. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you don't really know much that would kind of let you read a letter that hadn't actually been written on. With
Can I-
some form of pen or pencil or... I'm sorry, go ahead, Rogar.
Can I, Ingrath, can I see that you're like struggling to read it? Like, what do you look like while you're reading this?
I guess like kind of squinting and turning the paper in different angles and stuff like that.
Then I'll go ahead and I remember I was told once if you rub it with charcoal, it might make it easier to see the impression.
Do you have any charcoal?
I'm gonna look directly behind him at the fireplace that was at once lit and now has charcoal sitting in it. No, I do not.
I turn around and go, okay, so I go grab charcoal and bring it back. And hand it to Rogar.
I'm just gonna step aside and let you do it.
Okay. So I'm gonna color it in, I guess.
Okay. And, yeah, here is what you find. Where to go here?
It's another letter.
No shit, Sherlock.
This is the letter that you find. You wanted to read aloud, or you want me to read it aloud?
I mean,
Oh,
Ingrath
right.
can if he wants.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
asking,
go ahead.
Zangrath. You don't
Yeah,
have
go
it.
ahead.
I'm not offering it to you.
Yeah,
I'll
go
look over
ahead.
his shoulder. I can see it.
Alright.
Dear Silicon, I need the blade. Send it to Greymore, but not to my house. I fear I need to work in secrecy, as anyone among us could harbor the curse. Instead, send it by courier to the woods near my house. There's an oak tree with an owl carved in its trunk. Tell them to bury it at its foot. Have it delivered on the night of the full moon. Any earlier, and my intent may be discovered. By Our Lady's grace, Silicon. I had hoped I'd never have to use it.
And you said it's like 2 nights from the full moon?
Yes. You are 2 nights from the full moon.
And when?
Well, I guess 2 days. So, yeah, 2 nights.
Is it the second night or the third night? It's like today
So
and then
yeah, you
night,
would sleep
day,
tonight,
then
and you
the-
would sleep tomorrow night.
Okay, and then the night after would be the full moon?
Yeah.
Okay. So the third night.
Right.
And this does it look like this letter was like already like so this page was torn out, right? I'm not there, but I'm just trying to.
It was just loose parchment.
Okay.
Like he had written basically he had written a letter and actually sent it to someone, and they just did an etching or a
Okay, so
basically
so that
read it by
paper
doing a
was-
charcoal rubbing.
Okay. And when was this man killed? You said like 2 weeks ago or something?
Yeah, he was killed 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
So the weapon's probably already there, I assume.
No.
No, so. Oh,
It's
okay.
gonna
So
be
when's the night of
delivered
the
in
full
2 days.
moon?
That's what we were just talking about.
3 days.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's the third night. It'll be.
Okay. So our third night.
And at this point, I'd be coming down the stairs. 'Cause
So,
I already looked at-
I assume then that Borgin and Oswald didn't hear that. It was just me and Greth and Ragnar.
I'd say for right now, yeah. Borgin, I'd say unless you're doing something else, you can probably start walking down with Oswald.
No, I'd be walking down the stairs.
Okay.
Then, well, if it's just the three of us that heard it, I'd lean into Angrath and let's keep this between us. Don't tell that coroner. I don't trust him yet.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
We'll share it with Borgin when we have a moment
Maybe
alone.
we can check it out later on, before that night. Know where we're gonna be ready to go.
Agreed. And then I'm gonna, assuming I'm gonna grab it, fold it up, and put it in the pack before Oswald comes down the stairs. Put it in my pack before it comes downstairs.
Yep, that's fine. And you do just that. And as you finish putting it in your pack and kind of resituating your pack on your back, Oswald comes down the stairs and says,
Yes, well, nothing more to see here. Shall we head back? It's getting late.
One more thing I want to check. I'm gonna go into the front room, like the room right inside the front door. And is there a carpet on the ground or a rug or anything like that, or is it just all wood?
there's a small rug.
Okay. I'm going to. I guess it'd be an investigation to see if I can see a trapdoor. And during the investigation, I'm gonna lift the rug.
Okay. Yep.
See if it's-
You lift the rug. You find no trapdoor. But you do find a key.
Okay. No loose boards, nothing like that. And yeah, I'll pick up the key and look at it, see if I can see what it looks like it would go to.
Give me a general intelligence check.
No clue.
No idea. Just a key.
And I'll put it in my pack for now.
Okay.
And
You don't have thieves' tools proficiency, do you?
I don't have proficiency, but I have thieves' tools on me.
Okay. Nope. Never mind. Then we'll just stick with what it is.
Yeah, I have woodcarver's proficiency and smith's proficiency.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Unless you got something specific in lock making or keys, I was gonna give you advantage, but.
Nope.
All right. Yeah. Oswald kind of looks to you and says,
Yes, well, getting tired. Going to be late by the time we get back. Why don't we head out here?
Agreed.
"Okay." Yeah. So you guys start to walk back, and he leads you guys back to the Greymore Bend and says,
Well, you are welcome to stay here, and please tell Frank it's on me as a service to Greymore.
Frank, you say?
Yes, Frank. He's the sole proprietor of the Greymore Bend.
Interesting. Well, have a good night.
Okay, you as well.
yeah, so you guys walk into the Greymore Bend. Pretty rough looking place. Not rough like personality, just not like floorboards have sort of like been pried, but just from the warp and erosion of time more than like people actually messing with the floorboards. A couple stools sit around a bar. There are a couple stone benches lining the area around the windows. There's a hearth along the side as well that has some empty barrels and tree trunks, or I guess like parts of like tree trunk set as stools around the hearth as well. And you do see a couple people sitting in the bar.
I'd probably be the third to walk in.
Assassination! As soon as I get close enough to see the bar, I'm just gonna rush towards it.
Okay. Yeah, you rush towards the bar. Borg and Angrath, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'll be walking behind Grognak. Grognak, you don't need any more. You're already drunk.
Nah, Grognak, I'd
tell
say
me
you're
what to
sober at this
do.
point now.
Alright, sober.
I'm just gonna run ahead. Don't tell me what to do!
Well, I'm just saying, if you get drunk again or have to fight something, it's not gonna be. I'm just gonna put you on the sidelines.
You can't sideline me, dwarf! You're not tall enough to.
I may not be tall enough, but I may be strong enough.
I doubt that.
Oh, let's prove it. Oh, let's do an arm wrestling contest. See you all win.
I'm game.
Is your arm long enough?
It's longer than yours.
Maybe I should just use my pinky.
If you want it to break.
You guys want to do this?
Yes.
Contested athletics checks.
Athletics, not strength.
Nope, athletics. And who's using their pinky?
Nobody.
Okay.
Oh, it's really helping you're using his peak.
I wanted you to break his pinky off.
Oh,
Grognak, it's almost
That ain't gonna
effortless.
happen.
You just toy with him for a minute and kind of make it seem like he's got a chance and just slam him right down to the table.
Just, oh no, I'm gonna fuck you.
Hey, that's a pretty good show there.
Oh boy. That's...
You seem like a rough and tough guy. Here, drinks on the house for that one.
Woo!
And he just kind of
yes.
gives you an ale.
That's the last thing we need.
Don't worry, I won't get too drunk.
Well, you know who won a
No,
drinking
drink it
contest. We do
slowly.
know that one. You already proven that one who won that.
You want another arm wrestle?
Oh, that's an arm wrestle. I'm just saying a drinking contest. We'll know who won that one.
You know what? Fuck it. Put your gold on the table.
Alright.
Yeah, right. We got a drinking contest here. Huh?
I'm gonna put 10 gold pieces on the table.
Oh, jeez. Okay. I'll put 10 on the table too.
Hey, what are we drinking here, folks?
You're
Your strongest.
If you got any dwarven
Strongest. Let me see what we got. If we got any dwarven. What the hell we got here? Well, I mean, you guys you want to do shooters or something, or you just want to do like some beers?
Give
What
us
are you
the
drinking?
whole bottle.
A whole bottle.
Wait, what are we drinking anyway?
Well, I mean, I can.
You can do beer, you can do ale. What all do you have?
I mean, I got some beer, got some ale, got some mead, got a pretty strong whiskey here as well, and then something called got a nice dark gnomish drink called a Black Charger.
You got any shit kicker ale?
I do got shit kicker ales. Yeah.
All right, well, 10 gold, 20 gold of shit kicker ale.
Yeah, right. You got it. And he just starts setting mugs in front of you and pouring them. For nobody who's ever seen Frank, by the way, this is what Frank looks like.
Yup.
Basically about what you'd expect, I think.
Yeah.
Is that what all the Franks look like?
That's what all the Franks look like, yep.
There's only one Frank, but yeah.
Yeah.
Each time you see a Frank, that's what he looks like.
He is Phil's Igor.
Hmm.
Or was it Igor or Ivan?
Ivan.
I think it's Igor, yeah.
It's
You have
Igor.
no clue.
It's Igor.
Neither of you have ever watched any of Jay's D&D.
I watched
so
Dust
no.
Veil. Is it Dust Veil that you're talking
No,
about?
that was one of Brad Widow's. No, Jay has the same sort of thing where the bartender is the same everywhere.
Oh no, I thought you were talking about Dust Veil, but never mind.
But yeah, so you guys, I assume, just start slamming ales. Angrath, what are you doing?
Oh yeah.
Who's that you cut out?
What are you doing, Angrath?
I'm. Hey Frank, what do you got for?
Hey, what do I got for what there? I didn't get that.
Looking for some victuals, some food.
Food. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck biddle piddle whittle diddle is, but yeah, I got some food. Let me see if he has an actual menu. Oh, yeah, he will have a menu. 1 second. Here it is. All players, save. Hey, alright, give this to you. You tell me what you're interested in. And he just hands you kind of like a tattered piece of paper with some handwritten
Cool.
items on there. Rogar, what are you doing?
I'm probably just sitting at the table, not doing anything, not saying anything. I'm just watching them dumbasses and fuck everything up for us. Probably.
Okay. A woman walks over to you, Rogar, and says, "You were with Oswald in the party now?
Indeed.
What did you find?
What do you mean?
Well, did you find anything out about George or Sir Thames?
Nothing concrete. We can't be sure of anything.
That's quite worrisome.
Give me an insight check." Yeah, not too sure. She seems a little uneasy. Is about as much as you can gauge.
Well, my name's Zalith Tass. There's anything I can do to help you, please? I mean, I don't know if there's much I can do beyond maybe share if you've got questions, but happy to help in any other way I can.
Here's what she looks like, by the way.
Okay.
Is that a jar of worms?
No. Jar of
It's a
keys.
sandfucker.
Jar of keys, okay.
Yeah, she's a locksmith.
It definitely looked like it was a jar
Oh,
of worms.
keys and like chain links, basically.
Okay.
I'll just look over. Thank you. I will get in touch with you if we have any questions, and I'll reach out to shake her hand.
And she shakes it back. It's quite shaky. Notice that. I guess give me a perception check.
My character sheet. No, wrong tab.
Her skin is kind of grayed and dark. Not sure if that's just. I mean, could be ash. Also, kind of just looking her in the face. She's got pointed ears and I guess more of a darker ashen complexion.
Okay.
Borgin, Grognak, give me Constitution checks.
Oh. Why?
Grognak, you're doing pretty well so far. We'll call it your, I don't know, on your 6th drink here. Borgin, you're just not having it today. It's been a rough couple days for you, bud. You've gone through a lot of mental sort of stress on you personally. and now you're just trying to drink to forget, and it's definitely hitting you pretty quick.
Oh, what happened, Borgen? You were talking all that good shit a minute ago.
I've had a lot of stuff in my mind recently. I'll catch up with me now.
Ooh, dwarf. Back your words.
Aye. You're right. When I'm in the right state of mind, I can back my words.
You guys continue to drink.
Yes. We paid for 20 gold worth of shit kicker ale. We're gonna drink that 20 gold worth.
Oh yeah, I'm a freaking vomit, but I'm gonna drink all of it.
Okay.
Gold's worth go to waste.
Angrath, Frank turns over to you and says, "Hey, you decided on something to eat yet there?
Yeah, I'll try the fish and a frosted pint.
Fish and a frosted pine. All right, it's gonna be
That hurt. Sailed
4
right
silver and all right, it's gonna be 4 silver and 5 copper.
Okay, so I hand him the money.
Okay. He turns and says, "Hey, Henriette, you mind keeping watch here for a minute while I go and put this together?" "Yes, but of course." And you see a taller woman. She's a darker-skinned elf. Walks behind the bar. Walks around with sort of like a wooded staff.
Wait, two
here.
dark elves? What?
And she looks like this. I don't think you guys saw that.
Disadvantage on perception throws when in the sun? What?
No, not a vampire. Or
Ah.
maybe. You don't know. That's
That
what
was
she
the
looks
hard
like.
mistake.
Dark elf.
Looks a little vampire.
Why would you throw a vampire at us like that, man? Come on.
Come on, Phil. I thought you liked this, okay?
Why would you think that? He's our DM.
You show
Yeah, I
the
don't like any of the
experienced
kids.
player a vampire and telling him it might not be a vampire. I can't meta this, but come on.
Give me a.
You're drinking, Corey.
I know, I don't see this. I'm just saying. I can't meta this, so what the fuck?
Well, we'll see how things go. I guess Angrath and Rogar, if you're looking, give me perception checks. Borgin and Rogar, you can do it as well, or if you'd like. Or I should have said Rogar and Angrath, and Borgin and Grognak, you can do it if you'd like.
Nah, I'm still pounded on drinks. I wouldn't be paying attention.
Yeah, Rogar, you're not really paying attention. You're sort of just kind of standing back to the fire, just minding yourself.
I actually didn't even hear your explanation because my dad asked me a question, so that's perfect.
That's fine. Yeah, Borgin, you're slamming drinks. Grognak, your eyes sort of roll back as you tip and take a huge drink. Angrath, you get a pretty good look at her. She's quite attractive.
Is that all I noticed?
I mean, basically for the most part, she's an elf. She's got pointed ears, a little darker skin as well. Seems very pleasant, but yeah, quite attractive.
Wait, Yeah, never mind. I don't think I'm there yet. I was gonna say I have that race guide on elves, but I think I'm only like 75% way through the human one. I haven't started the elf one, so never mind.
Okay.
Like I said, will that give me advantage?
Yeah, that, and I would say you weren't exactly looking at her either. But, yeah, a few moments go by. Borgin and Grognak continue to drink. Eventually, Frank comes out from behind the bar. "Hey, thanks, Henry. I appreciate it." And you see her give her a kiss on the side of her cheek. She walks away, and he brings you your food, Angrath.
Alright.
So you guys are staying here tonight, yeah?
That would explain it. It was in German, and I was like, what?
I probably.
Oswald said that he was going to pay for our rooms for the night.
Yeah, that's fine. No worries. You guys hear word around town as you guys is helping out about stuff.
We're doing what we can.
Well, I appreciate it. That means a lot to us. yeah, let me know if there's anything I can do to help out. Hey, by chance, I know Oswald was saying earlier, Zahn, you guys was going out to George's house. Did you happen to see a young girl out there named Erin?
We did not.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's his daughter. I would just like be nice if someone could let her know what happened with father.
I'm hearing this correct.
Yeah, he's all kind of around you guys generally. You're hearing it.
So I'll like when I finish my pint, I'll be like, alright, if I see her, I'll try and tell her if I can remember.
Yeah, she's a young girl, probably I don't know, 17, 18. Not bad looking. She's got blonde hair, a little darker blonde, but sweet girl. Couldn't miss her.
Where will we find her?
I mean, I would have assumed she'd have been out of the house, but yeah, maybe she was, she was getting older. I think she had plans of maybe moving out. Maybe was gonna go to Wellspring Falls. So maybe she's not there. But I'm just saying, if you happen to run into her, I mean, that's George's little girl. Little girl meant nothing. The world meant nothing to him next to the eyes of his little girl, and it just, would feel wrong if she didn't have a chance to know and pay her respects. It's a father after all. I mean, can you imagine if you lost your father and never had a chance to know?
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out if we see her.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, there's only look, I only got 3 rooms over there. They're all open. Nobody's staying here. You're welcome to head those rooms. There's no locks. They're just open. There's got the little, handle pulley thing. When you get in the inside of it, you can latch it closed. And what about you there, big guy? Can I get you something? And he looks over to you, Regar.
The potatoes and onions. Look good.
Yeah, right. Potatoes and onions, and yeah, that sounds good. That's gonna be 3 silver. You need a drink to go with it?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, I bring you a water anyways, just in case you get a little thirsty. Do you like how I added milk on there for you, Mike?
Yeah.
That was just for you. All right. Yeah, you guys eat. Borgin and Grognak are still drinking, I assume.
Yeah.
Constitution saving throws.
Wait, so are me and Borgin
We're
done?
still going at it.
You're still going. I just want con saves from each of you.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're fine.
Except for you're slow and stupid.
Shut up, Mike.
Let's talk about your orc.
Yeah, both are going pretty strong. How many would you say you've had so far? You've probably been in here for about,
I mean, how many
call it
did
half
you
hour,
get?
about an hour.
I mean, we got 20 golds worth. How much was 20 golds worth?
I mean, basically what's happening is every time you drink and set down an empty mug, Frank is just refilling it.
Oh,
Jesus Christ! I'd say after half
He's
an
just
hour.
he's just got a keg opened up right behind the bar in front of where you guys are at, and just
After
each time you finish one, he scoops one into the keg and sets it back down.
There's
So
no
after
shit
half an hour, I think we'd have maybe 10 or 11
Okay.
each of us or just between us?
each of us.
Yeah, I'd probably say about 10 or 11 between each of us.
All right. I mean, you guys are definitely feeling it. You're composing yourselves well. It's more like the fact that you want to win and I guess be the better drinker than the other person. Borgin, you're looking probably a little better at the moment than Grognak, but you've had your moments as well of looking pretty rough. But no, I mean, it's more like the heat of the competition and wanting to win that's like keeping you going. You're sort of mentally overlooking the fact that you've had like 11 drinks in the last hour. But yeah, you're stomaching it fine. You're doing okay so far.
I'm Garlick's gonna stop it for a second. Hold it. Maybe we should get some food.
Hey, that does sound great.
And then
Get a little bit of
drink.
food.
Yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead.
What are they drinking?
Shit Kicker Ale, which
That's
was not on the menu. I know.
Yeah.
It was a off-menu special. Just had a bunch of it. You know, it's not exactly something people come in and ask for. You ever come in and ask for Shit Kicker Ale?
All the time.
Oh, you guys, clearly. I keep it here because it's fucking cheap, you know? I mean, we're talking like ale. It's like, you know, not the best in the world. At least not around these parts. So I keep it on hand when someone wants a cheap beer. I don't like what they see in the menu. I serve them the Shit Kick Ale. I mean, it doesn't taste great, but it gets you drunk, you know?
Yep. Give me some moose soup.
I'll take some spicy pepper cheese.
Alright, moose soup and some spicy pepper cheese. Yeah, just give me 1 second. I go grab that for you. And he goes back in the kitchen. About a minute later, brings back some moose soup and some cheese with a loaf of bread.
While he's in the kitchen, I'm gonna leave a gold on the counter and then go into one of the rooms.
Cat and overboard.
Yeah, so you you leave the gold piece, go find one of the open rooms. You just walk in. There's just a bed and a little dresser with 2 drawers.
Yep, I'll doff my armor and whatnot and lie down.
Okay. Do you lock your door?
I thought you said there wasn't any locks.
There's a pull latch, he said.
Yeah.
He said the door wasn't locked, like there was no key to give you to unlock the door, but there is a little latch you can pull.
Yeah, I'll lock it, and I'm not gonna fall asleep right away. I'm just gonna lie down for a bit. Cause I don't think I'll fall asleep with those loud drunk fucks.
That's fine. Angrath, what are you doing?
I'm gonna finish up my food and go grab the other room and lock myself in, so those two can fight over the last.
Oh no!
The drunks can share a room.
Right.
All right, yeah. So you go lock yourselves in, and Grognak, Borgin, some time passes. Give me some con saves.
And remember, Morgan, Grognak sleeps naked.
And
he's a cuddler.
Okay.
He likes to spoon.
I'll sleep outside. I'll sleep in the bar.
Borgin, you're starting to fade.
Come on, dwarf. It's not all you got.
It's not.
Let's go.
What are you guys doing?
Drinking more.
Still going at it.
Okay. Con checks
After
each.
eating the moose soup, of course.
Yeah, after
Sure.
we eat the food.
Yeah, I've assumed you've eaten the food. Con checks each.
Con check or con save?
Check. It only matters if you're proficient in Constitution, which I think you are.
Yes.
Grognak, you take one last big mug of Shit Kicker Ale, slam it down and say, "Come on, you dwarf!" And as you're saying dwarf, you just face fall flat onto the bar and are passed out.
Okay, so am I still sober to a room and lock it?
What is it that you want to do?
Am I still sober enough to walk to the last room and just lock the door?
Come on, don't be that dick.
I'm gonna say you can walk. Yeah, you stumble around.
Come on, you should at least.
You wanna
carry
lock
him
the
into
door?
room. He helped you. He helped you get all that booze.
I'm not with my booze anyway.
You want to lock the door?
Oh, I'm locking the door.
Roll me a dex check.
Oh, jeez.
Make the DC 10. With disadvantage, by the way. You think you lock the door.
Okay.
And then I assume you just pass out and go to
Oh,
sleep.
yeah, I crawl over the bed and vermintide and I just fall face first.
Okay. Grognak, give me a Constitution check. Okay. Yeah, Night goes by pretty uneventfully for each of you. You wake up the next morning. Rogar would be the first one awake. What do you do when you get up, Rogar?
Same routine, making sure my armor looks, buffed out a little bit. Make it look a little bit better than it did while I was on the road,
Oh, I should be back at full hit points, shouldn't I?
Yeah,
Sorry
you guys
to
have all had a long rest now. You can do all that shit.
So I clean up my armor a little bit, then put it all on, get myself ready, and go out to the main room.
Okay. Angrath, what are you doing?
I'm gonna wander out front and see if I can get some breakfast.
Okay. You have both lockboxes now, right?
No,
I have the other one.
The door's
Oh.
stuck with it.
Borgen's got the second one. Okay.
Yep.
All right, so you wander out into the main area. Borgen, give me a Constitution check.
Constitution check or just saving throw?
Check. You are 100% fine. Dwarven resilience is strong within you. Yeah, you're completely sober. Not even a headache. You're just fantastic.
All right. Am I awake at this point too?
Yeah, you've woken up. I had already assumed you woken up. The con check was just to see
Okay.
how you were feeling in the morning.
Yeah. So I'm walking out there, just like I'm gonna be strutting my stuff, right? Because I just beat him in a drinking competition and woke up the next morning with nothing.
Grognak, you start to wake up. Give me a Constitution check.
Please fail. Oh, this would be great.
And you wake up to being shaken at the bar, by the way. You got a little bit of a headache. You're not drunk anymore. You've slept it off.
Yeah, fuck.
y-
What do
I
you
mean-
want?
You don't feel too sick, but you just have a little bit of a headache at this point. It's more of an annoyance than an actual pain. Hey,
What the fuck do you want?
well, you fell asleep on my bar here.
I did?
I mean, look at yourself. Sit up and look.
Oh god.
I at least got to clean up this
Oh,
drool
no.
here.
Oh no, the dwarf beat me again.
Yeah, I was watching you guys going for a little bit, but yeah, eventually I had to get some rest. I locked the bend though, so you should have been fine. But no, come on, sit up. I need to.
How much do I owe you for sleeping on the bar?
Yeah, you got it. Don't worry about it. You bought 20 gold worth of shit kick ale. You're fine. But I do need you to sit up and need to clean up your drool here a bit. Also gotta tell you guys. I gotta talk to you guys.
Okay, yeah, I'll get up. I'm gonna just start getting up and then just fall onto the floor. Just oh shit!
You fall on the floor.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, just a loud crash. Fall to the floor. Hey, you right there. You still a little woozy?
I'm just gonna get back up. Yeah, I'm fine. Happens every day.
Maybe you're not much of a chair man then, huh?
I like benches better.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, there's a bench over there by the hearth if you feel up to sitting over there. But and then at this point, I'm gonna assume Rogar and Borgen and Angrath are kind of starting to walk out one after another. And you see Frank start to call you guys over. So I'm assuming I'm gonna be the first to tell you this news, but you're probably gonna want to find the coroner. So there's been another body found this morning.
Oh, that's just lovely.
Yeah, our own Zella Tass. She was the locksmith in town. She was found dead at a house. So yeah, I mean, take a minute, eat, get yourselves ready, but you should probably go find the coroner.
Okay. Bring me some more of that moose soup. It was delicious.
Yeah, sure, I can get there for you.
And then after Grognak's done talking to Frank, but how you feeling, Grognak? After last night,
I'm feeling fine.
I
Yeah?
am too. It's great.
Good.
It's
Good
great.
for you. Woohoo, yay, you won. Who cares? Nobody gives a shit.
What is this, Mike?
That's another one of the D&D's fair that was in. It was Arcadum. Was
Huh.
DM.
Okay, that's interesting.
That's why I said, "Oh, it's this dude." When you
Mhm.
showed the picture.
Oh, that's funny.
Also, I think Don has to leave.
Yeah,
now.
Don.
Yeah,
you
I
gotta
got
get
like
going.
7 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. We'll just assume. Go ahead.
Everyone gets. I would assume everyone gets breakfast, and then we start to head out, and that's where it ends. Or
Yeah, you guys have your breakfast. It brings out your moose soup. You guys walk out, and you're in the center of town right now, on the outside of the Greymore Bend near the entrance. And you start to see a small gathering of people over one of the buildings to the side. As you walk up and approach, you are met by, again, you're met again by Coroner Oswald, who says,
Well, perhaps we should have a discussion with Eladriel. She was found here.
and just points towards the door of Zalith's home. And that is where we'll end today's session.